he's extremely confident in everything he does and himself and the way he like carries himself. Yeah, I think that was like the biggest thing that just drew me to him, I guess.
So unajua fisi ukiona hivi ilikuanga love at first sight. My part si kwake yangu. So nilimwangalia nikasema we huyu hapa nilimwambia actually the first day.
What was the reaction?
A reaction. Alicheka. Aliatiwa kacha.
A couple who met in the US and they decided to set up a beautiful home in Meru County. Welcome to today's episode of Candid with Yvonne. My name is Yvonne Kawira. Hodi. Hi. Oh, this is the right place.
Welcome.
Hi, sir. How are you?
We give hugs as well.
Oh, this is beautiful. Hi.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks
this is a
for
beautiful
coming.
home.
Thank you.
All right, let's see around.
Okay.
Sissy, you want me to put you right here? Let me put you in the middle.
No.
You got
They
it?
can do it. They can do it.
You can do it.
They can do it.
When did Sissy get this big?
I don't know.
Sissy, when did you get this big? You want me hold you? I'm not tickling you. I was born in Embu.
Wow.
I was born in Embu, raised till I was in class 4. And the first few years of my life, hadi class 4 nilikuwa naongea Kiembu, sikuwa najua Kimeru because I was born there. And then tukahama tukakuja Meru town. And then I spent most of my childhood Meru town. I grew up in Kinoru area, Makutano area. So hiyo ni kama nyumbani. And I used to spend most of my holidays in Kibiritia.
Oh,
Hiyo place ni baridi. Nilikuwa naipenda juu ya nyadhe.
No, I don't
Yeah, kukula. Ilikuwa kula vizuri. Na sikuwa nanona. Na kurafuka tu.
umeanza kunona tu sasa.
Sai nimeanza kunoka. Tumbo kameanza kutoka. Hako nikakushiba. But yeah, I spent most of my holidays Kibiritia kwa nyadhe. I was nyadhe's favorite child. So nilikuwa naenda huko most of the time. And that's pretty much my childhood. Nikaenda primary, Meru primary. Alafu high school tukaenda Abodogochi. Unajua? Abodogochi. And then sasa I think tukatoka nje tukaenda.
After high school
After a year and a half after. Nilikuanga na plans za kuenda KU. Mimi sikuanga hata na plans za kuenda nje. But
so nilifanyika.
Madhe there was kulikuanga na hii program ya unajua Dr. Clement alikuanga at that time alikuanga Minister of Education. So alikuanga na this alikuanga Assistant Minister of Education. So there was this program where they were sending Kenyan students to US, UK. So madhe aka-apply. You know, akanikuta Kibiritia nikuanga ushago. Mimi napenda ushago sana. Mimi mambo za tansi. Waru na hakuna stress. Chakula ni mingi. Tena nilikuwa na spend time with nyadhe. So madhe akuja na forms. Niambia sign. Kwani mimi najua za nini? Mimi nika sign. Madhe akarudi nazo. After a few months nikasikia you accepted. Sasa tuende interview US Embassy. Nilifika Nairobi 2 times before nitoke. Interview too. The first time kuenda interview and then the second time nilikuwa natoka na ndege. Yeah.
Was that scary knowing unaenda a different environment altogether? Ulikuwa how old?
Nilikuanga 19 ama 20 kitu kama hiyo. Alafu kizungu yangu unajua ilikuanga wapi? Ya mashambani ya Kibiritia. Acha nikule shida na hiyo kizungu. Past 6 months. Nilikuwa nimejenga hizi muscles za shingo. Unajua kwa nini? Kwa sababu sikuwa ongea kizungu vizuri ile nikikataa nikusheki hivi. Ilikuwa imeunga kakaisha sasa ile kizungu iliingia kwa mwili. Nilienda shule. Pre-med, nilikuwa nimeenda as a pre-med, biology pre-med major. Nika second major with chemistry. So ilikuwa biology na chemistry pre-med major. But then as I continued, I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Hiyo line ya daktari nikaona hapana. Yeah, nikaanza unajua unajua kitu nilifanya, nilianza kuangalia my surrounding, kuangalia what Americans are doing. Nikarealize majority of them are entrepreneurs, small business owners, and that's how they make money. And kaanza kuangalia that line of entrepreneurship, that line of making money for yourself, hustling for yourself, and that's how my mind ikaanza kuchange. Nikaanza kuona hii line ya kuandikwa kila wakati, why should I not do, or, you know, if you go to Rome, you do what Romans do.
I come from Utah in the United States, and I'm the oldest of 5 kids, so I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm the oldest.
All right. How was life growing up in the US? What was life like?
Life was good. I have parents who put us in a lot of activities and things, so sports and music, dancing, a lot of like activities outside of even schooling. So we were really busy. We stayed busy growing up. So I would like go to school and then come home and go to like piano lessons or go to dance classes. So we did a lot of that all through till I graduated high school. So
Then after that?
And then after that, I went to university in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a musical theater and dance school. So I went there and studied that for a bit, and then moved back to Utah. And then that's when I met George. He lived in Las Vegas at the time, and it's where I grew up is about almost 2 hours away from Las Vegas, so it's really close. So yeah.
All right. So you meet George. What about George that drew you to him?
So originally, like, we were introduced because he started an independent music label in Las Vegas. And I grew up singing and doing all those things and performing and music and all that. And he was looking for someone who could sing. He had one artist at the time who was like a rapper. So he was looking for someone to do singing projects and things with.
At the time nilikuwa naenda kwa hiyo college ya Las Vegas, and I had a friend, another friend, a female friend. Nikamuuliza kama she knows an artist that can sing. Na akaniambia, yeah, niko na rafiki yangu from my hometown St. George, anajua kuimba, I can introduce you. So yeah, that's how we met, through a friend.
Yeah.
All right. So you got married in the US, or did you have to come back to Kenya?
No, we got married in US in 2012. And yeah, so I had not even met his family yet. His family was not able to come to US for that. So we got married in US, and then I did not even get to meet his side of the family until 4 years later in 2016. So we had 2 kids by then, and I was pregnant with the 3rd by the time I met his side of the family.
You traveled to?
Yeah. We traveled just to visit for my first time. We stayed for 6 weeks, and yeah, I got to meet all his relatives, his parents, his sister, and we just traveled around Kenya a bit. We went to Masai Mara and did like a little game drive out there, and yeah, that's when I fell in love with Kenya, and we just realized that it was some time in the future we wanted to come in. We didn't know if we wanted to settle here or just have a place here, but we knew it would be a part of our lives for sure.
So throughout all those years, before tupata our first child, alikuwa najua we will end up in Kenya. So it's not something niliamka tu nikamwambia tuende Kenya. If I did, that chances are angesema hapana. But it's something nilimwambia I would like to live in Kenya, to raise kids in Kenya. Na hata especially vyenye walizaliwa watoto, and my parents were not able to hold the kids when they are young, when they were little. You know, ilikuanga motivation sana nikuja na wao so that my parents can spend time with their grandkids. Wasikuwa naona tu kwa video peke yake. And that's why we live like 10 minutes away from them. Na mother comes here often, almost every 2-3 days. Anakuja na chapo. Juu kama msichana kanapenda chapo. Hey, chapo. Oh, mnaweza kosana. Kakosa chapo within 2 days. Ila kelele itakuwa hapa. Alafu si Nyadhe anajua hivyo. analetanga chapo every
Chapo,
2-3 days.
tickets.
Hiyo ndio ticket. Every 3 days. Hata saa hii ameniambia nakuja.
At what point were you sure that this was going to be a home for you?
The point we were sure. So 2016, like I said, when we did that, the game drive,
Yeah.
we realized there would be a lot of people where I'm from, where, you know, in US, that would love to come to Kenya and do a safari like they see on TV, you know? And we realized there was an opportunity there to kind of branch both of our worlds. So that idea started first, where we then were able to start up our company, Lemiri Travels. And we had our first few guests that wanted to come, and they booked a trip with us, like a 10-day trip. And so and then we were living in US at that time, so George, you know, was able to come and show them the country and some of the most beautiful places. And from there we realized with that opportunity, and just like Kenya just like kept calling to us, like, you need to be over here. So that was the starting point. And then we just knew, I don't exactly know, I think it must have been 2017. We just decided, okay, we want to go and we want to be there and we want to have a home there and have the kids grow up out there and learn the culture, know the other side of their family, and just do a lot of their growing up years over here in Kenya. So that's when we kind of put the plan in motion. And then 2019 is when we did move here. We didn't have plans to go back home to the US, but we lived here for all of 2019. And then when COVID hit, we weren't quite settled enough to where, you know, there was so many unknowns, so many question marks in the world. So everywhere in the whole world. So we headed back to US. And then during those 2 years, we were able to build our house. And so we did that from abroad. We did that while we were in US. And then we were able to come back for real and stay here this March.
All right.
Yeah.
This is when you...
This year. This year, March. So it's been, I think, 5 months. Is that 5 months ago?
How has it been, the culture? You know, there's a whole lot of different world over here.
The culture and all the adjustments. It's been good. It hasn't been, I feel like in 2019 was the biggest like culture shock period of time. This time coming back, we were prepared a bit more. We knew what some of the challenges might be, especially living like in the village areas. So this time I can honestly say it hasn't been too hard to adjust. And it's been very positive and awesome. In 2019, when we were first here, things were a little bit more shocking, but also our kids were very small. So it was just a lot, having small babies, being in a new country, eating new foods, and, you know, just everything, the environment, the weather, everything. So it just was a more jarring, but this time it's been very smooth, I would say, as smooth as it could be.
What was the most shocking thing that happened to you when you landed here?
The most shocking.
Yes.
I would just say, well, I'll say for like the kids, it was definitely like trying to adjust to the foods.
Yeah.
Just because it's so different, even like just upsetting their stomachs, because it's just everything, you know, when you're hit with so many different foods and ways that foods are prepared and things, it did take a while for them to actually adjust to the food and eat without me having to force them. But they love the food now. And then for me, it was just probably just Kenya as a whole just moves very differently than the US in terms of it's Hakuna Matata here. There's no worries.
Yeah.
There's no rush. There's no, in US everything is hurry, and that's hard to, when you're used to that, it becomes like an addiction to always want to be pushing forward, moving and rushing and hurrying and being stressed. So it's actually a big adjustment to have to let that go and to just like take it a day at a time and enjoy things at a slower pace, So I would say that's probably the thing that was hardest for me to adjust to, is just the pace, the way of life.
Some of the things that you're struggling with right now in Meru, can you walk around, your way around by yourself?
By myself, not so much. I don't venture out by myself, but that's mostly just because I don't drive here yet. I have my license in US and I could, probably get that sorted out here when I want to. I'm just not quite, I'm not feeling ready to take that on yet because it's so different being on the different side, the opposite side of the road, opposite side of the vehicle, and it's just intimidating to me. So I'll get there eventually, but right now I don't venture out on my own, really. But good thing we have a nice big compound, so I can still find time to, if I need some peace and quiet from the kids, send them outside. They can run around and play. So, yeah.
Talk about your experience in parenting in the US and here. Is there a difference? What have you had to change?
In parenting, well, even in US, so we homeschool them and they do online school.
Even
And
here?
we did that in US and we do that here. So it hasn't been a huge change that way, because we've just always had the mindset that we want to be the ones who are primarily raising them, and being aware of like what they're learning and who they're around, and their psychological well-being, their emotional well-being. Like, we're very hands-on that way. And we've kind of wanted that from the beginning and just decided like that we wanted to be the ones kind of in control of that for their really formative years. So there hasn't been a huge shift, honestly, because it was very hands-on in US and they were always by our sides, and it's the same thing here. Now it's just, there's a lot more fresh air and space for them to kind of run around the compound. So
An experiment.
yeah, get dirty.
Bugs biting Mekenze. That's the biggest challenge nimeona akiwa nayo. The other one, sijaona any other big challenge. Watoto, they're still young to the point where ukiwaambia tuende Marsabit tuishi huko, tunaenda tunaishi huko. As long as dad na mom wako hapa, hakuna kitu kingine wanafikiria. But if they were teenagers, tungekuwa tumepigana saa hii. Ingekuwa vita kubwa sana if we were to move when they are teenagers. But for now, watoto wako sawa. Ukiwaambia tufanye hivi tunafanya, tuende hapo tunafanya. Lakini nasikia kama wana miss ma games zao na the other side of the family, but it's normal.
They'll still continue to adjust. Haijakuwa 1 year bado.
Bado haijakuwa 1 year. Lakini tulikuwa tumeishi hapa for 1 year even before. Lakini they were 29, but they were much younger. They're still young, but yeah. Sioni kama itakuwa na any other big challenge.
Back to the US, when you first saw Mr. George, what was it about him that set him apart from everyone else?
His confidence. He's extremely confident in everything he does and himself and the way he like carries himself. Yeah, I think that was like the biggest thing that just drew me to him, I guess, is I've never seen somebody with as much confidence as him. Yeah. But at the same time, like, he has a way of like being humble and at the same time being very confident. So it's just this like dichotomy of, I don't know, it's unique.
Unajua fisi ukiona hivi ilikuanga love at first sight. My part siko wake yangu, so nilimwangalia nikasema huyu hapa. Nilimwambia actually the first day.
What was the
reaction? Alicheka. Aliangalia tu akacheka. But story funny ni wakati tuliintroduciwa it was through the phone. And at that time was Halloween time. Na kuna hizi fake teeth, vitu kama hizo. Akaniambia nimtumie picha aone ni nani. Nikaweka zile fake teeth zangu ziko rotten, nikapiga ka selfie, nikamtumia. Haku respond siku 3.
Umeshtua msichana.
Mimi nikasema kama atarudisha ni sawa. Nikamwambia huyo ndio mimi. Sasa vyenye respond ni ati alitumia rafiki yake hiyo picha, muuliza huyu ndio sasa unataka kuniintroduce naye. Amwambia hapana, huyo jana joke sawa. Sasa ndio alinirudishia simu.
Yeah.
How did he propose?
It wasn't anything like super like, it was more just like we spent, like I said, when we first met and we did our first few music projects together, we spent every like free moment together. So, and then we just both through a lot of just like conversation and realizing that we wanted a lot of the same things in life and that we were very compatible. It was just kind of like a given that we were going to like be married and do life together. So it wasn't like this big surprising like shocking moment. And I'm even someone who kind of prefers that. Like it was just kind of like a mutual decision, and then he bought the ring and gave it, and he gave it to me, and he asked my dad, he asked his permission, talked to him and made sure that he was being respectful that way. And he was always just very respectful. My family loved him right away. So after he talked to my dad, if I remember right, I think like the next day or a day or two later, then he just made it official with the ring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we started working together, music, tukaanza kuproduce, tukatengeneza ngoma kadhaa. And then tulikuwa tuna perform LA, tunaenda hadi New York, tumeperform huko pia. A few weddings in Las Vegas ameimba. Yeah.
How did you find, did you have so much faith in the whole moving across the continent, across the globe? To just continue raising your kids together in a different continent. How was that for you? Were you scared? Were your expectations met when you came to Kenya? What were you expecting at first?
I think my expectations have been exceeded in the way, in the sense that the things that really mattered to me and to us with raising our kids, we can see that moving here was the right decision, because some of those things were them learning the culture here, having their minds open to there's more than one way to live life. There are so many people in the world. There are so many different places. It's not just America. It's not just this bubble. There are people that live in these kinds of houses. There are people that eat this kinds of food. Like I really wanted that for them, because I think that's just one of the best things you can do for kids, is to open their minds and just kind of see what they gravitate toward and let them experience as much life as possible in their formative years. And I think that's, we see that happening, like with conversations I have with them, just during the day and throughout our normal living. I realize that that's what's happening. Just some of the comments they make and things they say and the ways they're viewing the world. I'm like, yes, like I can see their minds are even more open than like mine was growing up,
What are some of the things they say that make you, pause and...
Let me think, now that you put me on the spot. They'll just say things like, they're realizing how people here they farm and they plant their own food and they are very self-sufficient. Like, Juju's farm, she's planting beans, she's planting corn. And they'll, like, even Lucas, our oldest, he'll ask, like, does she eat all of that? Does she sell it? Like, they're just very
curious,
inquisitive of like what do people do here, you know? So just kind of seeing how people are very self-sufficient here. They farm, they eat from their farm. They, you know, they're very productive, I guess. Yeah. So things like that.
You've settled in Meru for a few months now. Have you learned to cook any local meals?
Yes. So proud of myself. Because before, I'm not the cook of the family. George
is.
I was about to say chef and George at the same time. George is the chef of the family for sure. Even in US, he did majority of the cooking. He's just really good at it. For me, now that we've been here and I have like a kitchen that just feels a little bit more familiar to me, like, you know, we have microwave, we have all the amenities. But I've been able to, let's say I cook like ndengu, I can
Good
cook,
girl.
I can cook those little things. Even like,
corn and beans. Like
like, and like, what do you call the lentils? I forget the name.
Kamande?
Yes.
Oh yes, kamande.
Yeah.
You can do that. Do you know how to cook ugali?
I do.
Good.
I do know how. George
You mean
usually
you're
still.
officially Kenyan now.
I'm official. I have not made chapati. I have not taken that one on yet. It's such a long process.
I mean, why?
Why? When I can just buy it when it's prepared already. But yeah, I can make ugali.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's good. What's your kids' favorite meal? Kenyan meal.
Kenyan meal. So they have their different favorites. So London kirote loves
Her name is
chapati.
London Kirot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
kirote.
beautiful.
Yeah. She loves chapati. So George's mom will make it for her almost like every week. She'll come over and be like, kirote, here's your chapati. So she loves chapati. Liam loves anything nyama. He loves beef stew, anything with meat. And Lucas he even loves mokimo. That's like his favorite. He loves the mashed potatoes. Yeah.
The foods in Kenya, are they tastier than the ones you have in the US? Are they spicier?
No, they're not spicier, but they're fresher. Like, yeah, for sure. You can tell the difference in the freshness. Everything's just coming like pretty locally, and you can tell the difference. Especially, like with fruits and veggies and like milk, things like that. It just has a different freshness to it.
Nakuanga piki sana. Naweza enda kwa hoteli niekewa chakula ni taste tu niache. Kwa sababu napenda chakula tamu. But then I started in class 6. Mother alinifunza kupika when I was in class 6. Yeah, and wakati nilikuwa nakaa na nyadhe, the last 1.5 years of her life, mimi ndio nilikuwa nakaa na and she was sick. So hakuwa nakula chakula. So I had to cook for myself. So nilikaa naye hadi she passed on. So because nilikuwa nimemaliza shule na nikaambia mother juu nyadhe alikuwa sick, akatoa mama wacha niende nisalimie ni take care nyadhe huko Keberecha. So I went there and I was cooking for myself. Ila kitu sikuwa najua kupika. Unaona hizi vitu zinaitwa kizungu aje nono. Zinaitwa sweet peas, green peas.
I hope it is.
Kwani nilikuwa najua kuzipika back then. Si nimechukua green peas zangu, nimekatakata tu vitunguu. Si nimeanza kukaanga kama mboga. Wacha si nimeona kama zimeiva. Wacha nikula zikisema asikuwa zimeiva. Usiku mzima. Nilikipata. Hiyo ni story ndefu, sikulala. Alafu nyadhe nasikia nikitoka nikienda choo I'm groaning on it. Anauliza kwani kumeenda aje? Kaambia ninaona ile ndio nimekula. Anauliza kwani ulipika aje? Ngaambia nilikaanga straight. Ananiambia mtoto. You boil kwanza. You boil them. So hivyo ndio nilijua the hard way. But then also when I went to US college, unajua lazima utafute a side hustle. Yeah. So niliandikwa in the kitchen. So nilianza kupika pizza, nikaenda on the burger station, alafu nikaenda kufanya kazi na the main chef mwenye alikuwa anapika for the whole college. So nilifanya inside the college as a cook kama miaka 3-4. So hakuna kitu siwezi pika. I cook at home.
Cook, you're the family chef.
Yes. Watu wanapenda sana. Wakisikia ni madhe anapika wanaanza kulalamika.
Pia na just
ana just
Especially the
yeah,
local
lakini ameanza kupika though, ameanza
ameniambia
kupika.
chapo ndo sasa inamlemea.
Ameanza
Sasa
kupika.
unapika chapo.
Kila kitu.
Wow.
Hakuna kitu siwezi pika. Ukikuja fancy dishes, unakuja kwa five course yote tunapika. Yeah. Na tunakula pia vizuri sana. Mimi ni mtu wa sahani mbili. Kwa hiyo pika vizuri. Hatukuli moja. Kwa chakula moja mbona? Kwani tunaomba chakula?
Siko na uko Meru. This is the land of milk and honey.
Siange kuonesha ile pot tunatumia kubwa. Lazima kuwa na leftover. Zile za saa 6 za usiku. Nasikia bwana ameamka saa 6 za usiku anakula tu.
Anarudia part 2.
Part 2 na 3 ni lazima.
What have you learned, in life, having been married to an African man? What are some of the things that, you have seen in this marriage that have changed your worldview about marriage, about life?
So many.
Let's get to hear those. Yes.
So like I was mentioning with the kids earlier that we were hoping to raise them with very open minds. I think my mind has also, it's been gradual because it's been we'll be married 10 years in December.
Wow.
So I can't like pinpoint the exact moments that my mind has like opened in different ways, but it's just been, I know I'm a completely different person than I was before meeting him, before learning the culture in Kenya. And I don't know, I think some of the biggest things has also just been the idea that we can be very self-sufficient. It's very different than US, where if you want to, you can have your own land and you can have solar power, you can have your own borehole, you can have plant your own fruits and veggies and trees and whatever you want. And I love that. Like, that's just very different. And so my whole mindset is kind of shifted to being more self-sufficient, I guess. And then just as a person, I think I've just realized that it's not just, I don't know if this is going to sound controversial or not, but when you're raised in US and you're kind of looking outside to other places, especially like Africa, you're getting a certain picture painted of what it's like, and that maybe US is very superior. Yes. And I've learned that's just so untrue. And there's good and bad everywhere you go. There's positive, negative everywhere you go, including US. There's a lot of negative. There's a lot of positive. Same with Kenya. There's a lot of very positive things. There's a lot of things that I wish might be, or that people might wish would change, but that's just life. And realizing that people are happy here, they're thriving here, and they probably are in almost everywhere in the world that you go. It's not just like one place that's superior, Yeah. So
what are some of the things you wish would change as Africans now that you brought it up?
Well, electricity has been a struggle. We've had a lot of power outages that can be frustrating, but there's definitely ways to work around them. Yeah. You just have to, either if it's with solar or just making sure if your power's out, you can still cook your food over gas, or, just things like that. Just like electricity, even water, trying to figure out how to have, because we've had this part of Meru has had very little rain this season, like almost none. As you can see, it's all dried up. So just like figuring those things out and how to make them be more reliable, I guess. Yeah. The
culture in Meru. What's the most surprising culture that you've encountered and you were like, oh my God, I did not expect that?
I don't know if it's just Meru alone. I think it's Kenya as a whole. Just the amount of seriousness that goes into very small kids going to school, very, very early in the morning. And it just like, I see really, really small kids walking to school even before the sun rises. And that was kind of shocking to me too, like just because, yeah, it's just it's a little taken a little bit more like seriously here. Like this is education. I mean, education is taken seriously in US too, but here it's just on another level. So that was a little shocking.
Any other thing? Do you get stopped by women in the village to ask you stories?
Oh, so just, I did, I mentioned this in one of my vlogs and got a lot of comments about it, but one thing that is still hard for me when I hear it is when Kenyans are very comfortable with like talking about each other's like weight. Like you've added weight or you've lost weight. And like in US, that's like, like don't do that. And so for my ears, like not even when it's coming to me directly, but when I hear other people saying it to others, I'm like, it's like shocking to hear. But I know it's not meant like as an insult or it's not like offensive here, but to me that's
you're still adjusting.
Yeah, I'm still adjusting. Like when I hear it
in Meru and someone tells
that's what everyone was commenting. They're like, it means you're healthy, it means you're thriving, it means you're beautiful. Like if someone calls you fat, you know, it means you're healthy. But my ears do not take it that way.
Going to have a tough time when you go back to the US. Talk like that.
I know, no. I don't know if I ever will. It's too ingrained in me.
I know.
But I understand that's not coming from an offensive place.
Have any of your relatives come to Kenya? What do they think about it?
My whole family, well, majority of my family. So my parents, my youngest brother, and my grandma came when we were here in 2019, and they were here for almost 2 weeks, and we did like a lot of traveling. They came to Meru. They met George's family, so that was really fun. And they loved it. And my mom is actually coming back in like a few weeks. She's coming here. So she gets to see our house and spend time and just, we'll do a little less traveling this time, just have it be more spending time in Meru and at home. And then next year, I think more of my family will come and we'll head to the coast and see that part of Kenya. And so they love traveling. So it's easy for them to want to plan a trip and come out here. So,
How describe your day? How does it look like, you know, when you're on a normal day?
On a normal day? I mean, it definitely ranges and varies depending what we have going on around this place, because we have bees. So one day it might be focused on like harvesting the beehives. On another day, it might be focused on, planting this or that, or chickens or pigs.
You actually plant?
I don't, I'll be honest, I don't do a whole, like, I'm not always in the farm every day, all day. I do a lot of things with the kids. I'm very hands-on with them. And like I said, they're starting school. Yeah, they're starting their next year next week. So they start August. Their new year, their new grade. So we'll be even busier with that. Our mornings will be spent for a few hours like doing school and doing lessons. And then, it's just stuff around the farm. We're home. I'm someone that thrives just being home. Like I love my space. I love being in my house. I love being just with my family together. I'm kind of an introvert, you know, like I'm a homebody. So it's easy for me to just keep myself busy around.
Right.
Yeah. And just learning different things like cooking. I have branched out. I've learned how to cook some foods. I'm actively trying to learn Kiswahili. So there's always something to stay busy with.
How do you living in Kenya? What businesses do you have?
We have a tourism company, Meru Travels. We've essentially had focus on international tourism. We connect with our friends and families out there, and advertise like that. Like in Isai, we want to start venturing into local tourism, doing day trips, maybe 1 or 2 trips, 1 or 2 nights trips and stuff like that. So that's what we're looking to start doing more and more. And also our vehicle, like our van, we have 1 tour van. So we're planning to also have it for hire for people that want to do private safari. Unajua si watu wengi wanataka kwenda with a group of people that they don't know. Kuna wenye wanasema mimi na rafiki yangu tunataka tuende wapi, somewhere like Samburu, can we hire your vehicle? So our vehicle is available and we have capable drivers and tour guides that do that.
What kind of products, tourism products, do you offer to your clients from abroad?
From yours, usually it's about 10-day safari, but we also can do 14-day safari, and we can also do 5-7-day safari as well. We usually like to do above 7 days because unajua we are coming from Meru, so to get clients, and also Kenya, you cannot see Kenya in 2-3 days. I mean, you can if you wanted to, but it won't be enough for like a dream safari for you if you only do 2-3 days. So 7 and above, that's what we focus on. 10 is our common one, our normal one. Yeah, but we also have clients that come in for 2 weeks straight, 14 days. So yeah, so we can do up to 3 weeks, a month, if they want to, whoever wants to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the process of signing up for this, products? You got to identify the dates and then what?
So you identify the dates, and if someone has a preference of the place they want to see, kama ni Amboseli or Masai Mara, they let us know, and then we tailor it to that. But if they don't, they just say customize something for us. So we usually have a custom safari that we do for all the clients. But if someone has a request, then we can make sure we honor that request and put it as part of the itinerary. Yeah. And the other thing we do also is farming. We also do farming. Yeah, we focus on pig farming and beehives. So we have beehives right in this compound. Oh yeah, you're gonna see them. Wow. Yeah, the pigs are nice and juicy. But we still have a couple more months before we slaughter them for meat. Yeah, but so yeah, we are focusing on pig farming and beehives. Beehives, we've harvested them twice, like since we've come back, it's only one time, like about 2 months ago, ndio tuli harvest. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. How is it, relocating the whole family here? Unafeel kama kuna kitu unafaa kufanya wasimiss tena home?
Mimi I'm comfortable. Munakula vyenye Kenya iko. Mkipigwa na bakteria tunapigwa. Kama ni malaria tuna treat. So hakuna specialty. Si unaona tuko rural area. Si ndio tunakuja ushago, tunapigwa na hii jua. Si unajua kuko na sola, ngoja ifike saa 9. Hii sola inachoma. So by the way, hakuna special treatment for them. This is how I grew up. This is Kenya. This is rural Kenya. Unakuja unapambana na maisha. Hata mimi napambana na, but I'm happy though. Yeah. I'm happy being back home. Siamkangi na stress. Mimi ulala kitu 1 AM. Ukiniuliza chenye nafanya siwezi kuambia. Alafu 6 nimeamka. Ndio kitu strange. I've tried. Hata ameanza kucomplain, niuliza mbona unaamka 6. Kichwa 6 ikipiga hivyo. For some reason ni hivyo imeenda, usingizi imeenda. Sasa anaamka kusumbuana na umbwa. We have some security dogs. And Justus. This is Justus Kadorima. One of my kids too. Yeah. He loves being held. Ni Charlie, unaona? Ni swaga pia, na swaga yake pia. Handsome, very handsome. Ananipenda. Si mchezo akinionea pale, anakuja mbio nimshike. This is the only chicken anataka nimshike tu.
This is nice. Nice to meet you, Justus.
Yeah, Kadorima. So how the Meru name is. Meru name is Kadorima. Yes, Limiri. He also has my name. Kai, si lazima, si ni mtoto. Very handsome. Unaona hiyo mohawk? Very handsome. Haya mtoto kwangu.
What words in Swahili have you learned so far?
Something I tell people often, they'll ask me if I speak Kiswahili, and I will just tell them, Nina jaribu kuongea. I'm trying.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or I can just say the basic greetings, like habari yako, things like the greetings. They're coming more easily now. Right. So, but trying to just pick it up slowly by slowly.
Yeah. And as a Meru girl, George must surely have taught you Kimeru. Please.
If you don't Muga.
Good.
Muga mono. Ibwega. Nkwendete.
Nkwendete mono.
Yeah. Nkwendete mono, yeah.
Mono.
Kimeru is so much harder
Yeah. You
than
think so?
Swahili. It's so fast, and it's easier for me to learn Swahili words when I can see the words and I can read them and write them. But Kimeru, it's just like I'm trying to just pick it up by listening or by repeating words that I hear, and that's harder for me to do. But
what message do you have to someone who's out there and they're considering getting married to an African man? Are there pointers you have for them?
Pointers?
Yeah.
What
must they do and what must they not dare do?
I don't know if I have pointers.
Yeah.
I would just say I think it's just being compatible with the person. Not so much just worrying about if they're African or, you have to be compatible with the person no matter where they're from.
Sure.
So I think for us, it's the whole concept of opposites attract. I think that's true because we're very opposite in almost every way. And that somehow has just worked for us. And we just learn from each other. And we do have common threads that have helped us to maneuver. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, common threads. We have a lot of the same just aspirations, things the way we wanted to raise our kids. And I think we're both just we love just being open-minded and doing things our own way. We're kind of I don't know, rebellious like that, I guess. So that's probably our common thread, but I don't know. I don't really have pointers. I think it's just if you happen to be compatible and you're from two different continents or countries, or one's American, one's African, it might work and it might not. There's not a magic potion,
You've done 10 years, something must definitely have worked for you. So what is that one thing you would, doesn't matter whether they're married to Africans or not, in marriage, what has worked for you? What is this one thing that you hold on to and you believe that this, if it were not for this one thing, then the marriage would have fallen apart? What works for you?
What works for us? One thing that works is having shared goals in life, because even if there's rough patches, which no marriage is 100% perfect in every way, but if you're very aligned in what you're working toward, then you can always find ways to move past any hardships, because a lot of times I even see, and this isn't just with Kenyans or with Americans, it's just in general, you see a couple, you see each person on a very different path, and it's very easy to just grow apart. But I think just the way we are building our life, we are doing it very unified. So it's easy for us to stay unified. Yeah, if that makes sense.
It does. It totally does.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to have sat down with you to learn all these things in your perception of the culture. Make friends in the village. Next time I'll come and find you holding knives and pangas and digging around. Yeah. Sasa umekuwa married 10 years. Ni nini umelearn kwa marriage for 10 years? What has, because this swali pia nimeuliza Mekenze. Ni nini imework for you for 10 years?
Chenye kimework. Ni patient.
Okay.
I think that's the number one thing, is patient. Unajua, when two people get together, these are two different individuals.
From two different cultures.
Two different cultures. By the way, our first year of marriage, we were fighting about AC. Our biggest fight was AC.
The temperature.
The temperature.
Wow.
Alikuwa nataka cold.
Mimi
nataka hot. Unaona majackets ziko. Mimi nataka hot. Wewe hiyo vita ilikuwa hapo. Akiteremsha 20 minutes napandisha. Tukapigania kelele hapo until I can adjust my hard side.
Wewe uli adjust mkutane katikati akijua.
To adjust on my side. kuna vitu nimeadjust on our side as well. So the marriage ni you adjust to your partners. Unajua kuna vitu unaona hapa tukipigana sana, there's no point. You adjust and you compromise. So kama temperature, she compromised to my hot side. Kuna vitu nime-compromise to her side. So that's what I'm saying. Everything is about patience. Yeah, you give and take. You see, ukiona penye mnagombana kidogo, you figure a way who needs to back down. Ukiona to back down, you back down. Kama sahi, we usually ni ngumu to we have an argument. Juu tumefika point ni ngumu usikie tunaargue. Tunaweza maliza kama 6 months hata bila kuargue because hakuna kitu ya kiargue. Most of the time nikisikia kitu imenizidi na nyamaza naondoka. Naenda ku cool off. Naenda kwa pigs huko ama kwa Justus kuku. Naenda naenda ku cool off somewhere. So in marriage nimeona number one thing is patience. You be patient with your partner. Kuna vitu hatapenda kwako and it's okay, just be patient, and I think that's the main thing. Bado tujakuwa professional. Niulize tukifika 60 years of marriage. Unajua? Thanks kidogo.
Difficult to even get to 5. Kwanza hii economy squeeze. Don't even. So then, I mean you've gone so far, so
we've tried.
Yeah.
We've worked hard on it. It's both parts. We both worked hard on it.
Okay.
And give each other space. Unajua kuna ile unaona when you are around each other too much, ukiona ukianza kusinya your partner, unampatia space kidogo, unamuondokea kidogo, unamwacha kidogo. So I think being patient with each other is and also understand nobody's perfect. Hakuna perfect human. That's the other thing I learned. We all have our own flaws as human beings. Kuna vitu nafanya anachukia even today. Lakini she tolerates that. So being patient with each other.
So kwa ule mtu anataka kupelekwa get in touch na wewe, apelekwa hizo different parts of the country to just see and get to experience the Kenyan products. How can they reach?
Well, usually through Facebook. Tuko na Limiri Travels page, limited page. Also, they can reach out to me on my cell phone number. Oh, you want me to share it? Okay, sure. It's 0707 843 614. Again, it's 0707 843 614. So they can call me, message me on WhatsApp on there as well. Also, we have an email by Facebook. They can reach out to us on that end like that. I'm glad you guys were able to make it. Sisi hapa reserve, we are nice and calm and happy. It's quiet. It's also very quiet. Majority of these neighbors are my family relatives. Yeah, my dad was born like less than 2 minutes away. That's nice. Like the ancestral home iko hapo. But the first born ndio alichukua hiyo shamba. But my dad was born here. My grandfather, he's buried here and his first wife. My grandfather was married to, I think, 3 wives, if I'm not wrong. So,
are you going to take the same culture?
No, nitanyongwa. We nitanyongwa. Hata nikaa na mmoja. Nitanyongwa. Hata nimeambiwa nitanyongwa.
Wow, we could talk the whole day. So thank you so much for kukaribisha kwako.
I appreciate you guys.
Fun, and I can't wait to see the rest of the compound and all those farming activities that you're doing. But to the rest of you guys, I appreciate your time and your patience. Thank you so much for watching us till the end of the show. My name is Yvonne Kawira. Till next time, keep it Tuko.